is Allah standing alone. You understand what I'm trying to say? No other religion has that purity of monotheism. They say one God, but they say what? Three in one. You understand what I'm saying? Or they'll say a son of God. It wasn't just the Christians. The Jews had this problem. They said Ezra was the son of God. You are the only religious community that has the purity of not only the name of God, but the worship. You are the only religious community that practices its prayer service exactly the way the prophet had it. God, I'm giving you the miracles of this religion. I'm giving you, 99% of my talk is W.D. Mohammed. Most of y'all know that. And then you little W.D. No discredit to you. I say this all the time. When I was young, I used to go to the house. And he and his brother would be throwing toys back and forth. I tell him this story every now and then. So I would be looking at them, and the man would tell me, say, don't worry about them. There ain't gonna be no problem. And he kept teaching me, right? The man taught me so hard. I'm looking at him like I'm looking at you, and he's teaching. This is the truth. No exaggeration. Cause I'm gonna tell you the same thing. All of a sudden, my eyes went up, and I saw nothing but blackness. And I don't know if it was 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and when I came back down, your daddy was still teaching.
I didn't hit you with one of them toys.
Allahu Akbar. So I'm going to get on the subject, but I just want to establish for some people, like it was established in me, what is the significance of our religion? Okay? Now, look, Abraham, he as a child, he removed the idols. Then Mohammed the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he removed the idols. And here comes Imam Deen Mohammed. And he first made the differences in the religion when he was about 12 or 13 years old. Just like Ibrahim. And he began to remove the idols. Now, some of you in the Nation of Islam, I see you. Your hair's kind of like mine, you know. We don't know if we want to be polar bears or what, you know what I mean? But I remember the hair was all black. I still got some. It's trying to go back and I'm trying to pull it forward, you know. Yeah. But these are good things. And so we were taught in the Nation of Islam that Allah was a black man, and that was for real important reasons that was said. And then Imam Mohammed, as he was trying to wean us off of that, some of you remember this. Allah's a black man, so on, so on, so on. And he came in one talk, must have been 1970 or 71, down in the basement. And he said, Allah is a divine mind. I don't know if some of y'all remember that.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And that was the bridge that connected us from the old teachings to the Sunnah of Muhammad the Prophet. That was fantastic.
Yes.
You know, and most of us, that is what helped us to make the transition. Prior to that, we saw Allah as a black man, one of us. But he delivered us with language environment. Language environment. The human body, in order for it to get here, it needs a uterus of the woman, the stomach, the uterus. And we sit in that uterus 9 months. But in order to, once the physical body is here, in order to deliver the person or to deliver the mind, the uterus can't do it. You now need a different environment, and that's a language environment. And Imam W.D. Muhammad used the language to deliver us from the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam was a womb holding us. And we were 40 years old. You understand? With beards and mustaches in the womb. And we needed a doctor to deliver us from that situation. And that was Imam Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, you know, in the Quran it says, do you have a Quran around here? I have one here, but I'm having problems. Yeah. Is it big letters? I used to be able to read this without my glasses. Now I need an electron microscope to help me read it. I don't have the eyes like I used to have. But anyway, really, yeah. It says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu alaykum siyam. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum siyamu. Kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'alakum tattaqun. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you, like or as it was prescribed to those who were before you. Perhaps Now, they translated self-restraint.
Yeah.
you can say self-restraint, but it means also that you will cause in yourself to be conscious of God. You know, when you're a little baby, mama wash you, right? She washes you. You can't wash yourself. But once you become an adult, what do? You wash yourself. So these steps of fasting, that's what it's trying to do. Now, you know, we have the days of fasting, they're 30 days. And the moon, in the general culture, they'll give you the moon in 4 phases, right? But in Islam, you don't have 4 phases. In Islam, you have 30 phases. And if you look at the moon starts like this. You see my finger here? It starts as a crescent. But when it begins, they call it a black moon. You can't see it. But when you start to see the moon in the heavens, you see a crescent like this, right? Okay. So what is this telling you? It's telling you that when Allah begins the life of the human being, and we males make our contribution into the wombs of our mothers, right? Our life journey, it's incomplete. See, look, this is incomplete. It wants to be complete. What? As a circle. But it's incomplete. And we males, the only thing that we can give the woman is that which is incomplete. And in our Deen, it comes to correct the problem that was before. And the problem that was before says that the woman was taken from the womb from the chest of a man. Some of you know what I'm talking about in the church, right? Yeah. Right. Adam was put to sleep, and God took a rib from him and made the woman. And most people are stuck right there. It's saying that it take Islam for us to see this. Mohammed, the Prophet ﷺ, he put it this way. It's not. We don't have a story in the Quran, but he said, if you try to straighten out the woman, the rib, say you'll break her.
That's right.
You understand? So what did he mean? You can't straighten out your mama. It was your mama who straightened you out. You see, when all of us are born, we're born as a raisin. You know what I'm talking about, raisin? Raisin's all wrinkled up. You ever seen baby when it come here? It's all wrinkled up. Allah gave it the lung, gave it the brain, gave it the heart, gave it the kidney, and then Allah gave us the little bitty job as parents. And what is that? To take that baby that is all wrinkled up and straighten it out for life. That's our role and responsibility. But you're going to see it in a minute here. The real sisters in Islam is this arc here that sits in you that connects the anterior part of the chest, right? You know what you call the sternum, and the back part of the chest that's called the spinal cord, right? So it is the woman that connects the man to his past and his present future.
Go ahead.
That ain't me, this W.D. Muhammad. I'm just a good reciter. Allahu Akbar. He give me the water. We can't take nothing during Ramadan. You tested me. He tested me. No. You don't have to be sorry. You are our security. You put your life on the line for I don't know how many years. Right. So you had a right to give me this water.
You travel.
Yeah, he protected me, right? Yeah, well, a lot of you look very beautiful. Imam Wallace, too, you look younger every year I see you, Mr. President. Yeah, really, he does. He looks very young. And you look young. And what I mean is that the soul of most of us is shining through the flesh. You know? Yeah. We can see to some degree past the flesh. But anyway. So it's the woman who connects the man from his past to the present. Now look, she represents the rib cage. You understand what I'm saying now? Not just a rib, but the rib cage. So she is the guardian, the woman is the guardian of the sanctuary of life. Is she not?
Yes.
Most of us don't have time because we're trying to feed her and the kid. She, most of the time, is the one that's raising that child from a helpless creature to an adult like us. But look, most people are looking at the rib as an individual thing, but look at the rib as its completion. As its completion, it is protecting the lungs. It is protecting the heart. It's protecting the spleen. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? So her function is to what? To protect the life. Now what's in here? Look, in here is breath. But more than breath is spirit. So she is the one that helps man with the spirit of Allah. Yeah, the woman. Yeah, Allah be praised. Now look, the Ramadan, it says, Shahr Ramadan, awwala rahmatan. Yeah, the first part of the Ramadan is mercy. 30 days is divided in 3 parts, right? I hope maybe some people already. Right. They addressed it already? No. Oh, okay. You right in line. Okay. Same spirit. So, Allahu Akbar. So the first 10 days is the mercy of Allah. The second 10 days is the maghfiratun, the forgiveness of Allah. The last 10 days is attaqun, is the freedom from the hellfire. And the freedom from the hellfire, it means not that the hellfire is for you. You've been created for paradise. It is the hellfire that the suggestions of Satan in our mind that we act on, where we put ourselves in hellfire. I know you probably read in the Quran where it says in the 7 gates of hell, or there's a tree with 7 heads, right? The tree with 7 heads of 7 devils. And you know, if there's 7 gates to hell, there's also 7 gates to paradise. That's right. And the 7 are right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No man gets any happiness unless it comes through these 7. No man gets any hell unless it comes through these 7. Right here. So the 7 gates to heaven or hell here in this physical life exist up here. And it's just an extension of these 7 that we will get in the next life, depending on what we did. Muhammad the Prophet, he said, when you go to sleep, if you pass away, you will be resurrected on the last thought you had in your mind. That's powerful, isn't it? Thank Allah for that man, Prophet Muhammad. So I know how to enter into paradise, because I want to have a certain thought on my mind when I go to sleep. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. And then when I'm resurrected, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And this is something that we need to practice. We really need to practice. This is how we go to sleep. Yeah. These are wonderful gifts and everything. But anyway, going back to the 30, you'll know we read the Quran 1/30th per day. That's the objective. And the reason being that Mohammed the Prophet ﷺ, every night he would, in Ramadan, he would be met by Gabriel, and Gabriel would be the one who would be there with him, and he would recite each 1/30th of the Quran until it was completed. Now this is in Ramadan. Most of us don't know this. I didn't know this. Every other prophet, Jesus, the Gospel, Moses, the Torah, Ibrahim, David, the Psalms. Do you know when all of those revelations came to those prophets? It was in the month of Ramadan. Isn't that something to think about? They didn't get any revelation unless it was also in what? The month of Ramadan. And they got the revelation from the same angel, Gabriel. Yeah. Isn't that something to think about? Yes. Yeah. Allahu Akbar. And Allah tells us in the Quran, especially during Laylatul Qadr, تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَالرُّوحُ فِيهَا بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ أَمْرٍ. And the angels descend by the command of their Lord. You see? In every affair. So now, what most of us, me first than anybody, I had no idea what that was talking about. I'm a doctor. He's a businessman. He's an engineer. She's a great scholar, so on and so on and so forth. None of us were born with those abilities. I wasn't born a surgeon. She wasn't born a scholar. He wasn't born an engineer. So how did we become that? That's something to think about, isn't it? It's because of our spiritual nature. We have 2 aspects in us: our spirituality and our rational faculties. Like you have a right and a left leg. And you move in the material world, you walk on this earth with the right and the left leg. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, that's on the physical earth. Now, if I'm going to move in the world,